Talk about these problems that are in leadership today. It's much like relationships that we're in. We can see other people having these problems, and we can and kind of joke at their punchlines and have fun with that. But the minute it becomes our own, it is no longer funny. When you're married to it, it's just not funny anymore. So what we're going to do today is just talk about some of these problems that are coming to me from my clients and from these opportunities that are out there that are just problems with leadership. And the first thing that I want to share with you, I have about five of them and different stories that go along with them. But the first one is trying to get a solid ROI with leadership investments. And a lot of times we've all been in HR's office and we're trying to figure out, how do we career path this person? How do we accelerate them? They're already doing a great job, but like, how do we just get them that extra percent? And really, you have limited time and limited resources. You're in HR, you are dealing with countless issues day in and day out, things that, we don't want to know the details about, but thank goodness you're there to take care of fielding a lot of these questions that are coming at you all day. And I don't know about you guys, but if you're not in HR and you go to HR, it's like they have this Teflon armor on them. Whatever you tell an HR professional, I swear they've heard it before and they are unfazed by it. The best HR professionals are totally unfazed by whatever it is that you're going to bring into their office. And so these folks, they sit down, they deal with the hard stuff day in and day out. These are the HR teams, the folks that are, SHRM certified and have been through probably more trainings than anybody else in the organization. And they're just looking for solid ROI. I have a high potential leader. They need to be able to go to the next level. What is a investment that we can put in this leader that's not going to take a lot of time, that we're going to get a big bang out of the buck for? And so these folks are coming to us and they're asking for solutions that work because nobody has any more time, nobody has any more energy, and they only have so much money in the day. They need a solid ROI. So a lot of these problems that I'm hearing about from others, from HR professionals, from leaders, from CEOs, are they just need to get a good return on the investment for this leader. And something else that they've been able to share with me, the folks that I've been working with, is they need a blend. They need to find somebody who can support them that is having a blend from real world experience with proven frameworks that have been used over and over and over again. And so what we've been able to do is be able to blend corporate experience with this textbook proven framework and blend this stuff together. So it's not just theory that we're talking about, we're actually talking about measured results that are taking place in the workplace, which then problem solves for, can we find a solution that has a solid ROI? One other comment that I know, when I was meeting with some HR professionals, I didn't even realize that we were talking about this, but it's really important when there is a leadership opportunity to be able to read between the lines and not just hear what leaders are talking about. And so a lot of times we've got to go a little bit deeper than what they're saying. They may be leading with a certain question, but really there's something else that's taking place. And to be able to find somebody with that skill set of being able to read between the lines is something that I have found working with my clients is something that they need, they want, and they continue to come back for, is to be able to find an executive coach that can read between the lines and be able to support these leaders, not just with real world experience and not just with proven frameworks, but also that intuition, that emotional intelligence of just being able to pull out that little bit that's going to help us accelerate results. So, the first problem with leadership is people are looking for a solid ROI. They need to have a good return on their investment. They're limited on time, they're limited on resources. They need to get these really good leaders accelerated to the next space. And that needs to be done quickly and efficiently and not a whole lot of additional burdens for them to be able to implement. And the work that we're doing with the clients is that they're able to drip this stuff into their daily life and be able to have these conversations that are allowing them to accelerate the growth. And not only that, but at the end of these engagements, the takeaways are, I'm going to continue to do this work. So even though the engagement ends, the leaders are coming to us and they're sharing with the HR professional, they're sharing with their manager that these are the conversations that I wish I had begun having a long time ago. And these are the conversations that I'm going to keep having because it allows so many different types of insights that I was just unaware of that needed to take place. So one of the first problems that we see with leadership is you need to be able to find that solid ROI. And a couple examples of, a limited time, limited resources, and needing to be able to read between the lines of what's being said and what's not being said, along with how do we blend like corporate experience with textbook real or textbook research that's taking place. And the folks that we're working with today were able to really blend this together and really accelerate their growth, accelerate the return on investment, be able to marry real world experience with proven frameworks that have been around for 4 decades. So that's the first opportunity or problem that we see with leadership. If you agree with this, I would love for you to be able to just a comment. It would be fantastic to hear from you. When I listen to others, this is where I learn, and this is how I know how to tailor the conversations and be able to continue to serve in a way that's going to be most helpful for you. And if at any point you want to, this is hitting home, please find me on LinkedIn. Send me a message. I would love for you to just send me a message and let me know, is this hitting home with you? Are there other topics that you're interested in? But the first problem with leadership is a solid ROI. The second problem that I want to share with you in regards to leadership is this just came up earlier today. We need to promote somebody, but we're not sure if they're ready or not. And so this particular CEO wanted to know, we just probably need to wait before we invest in them further because we want to see, we're just not sure. They're they have a proven track record. They're doing a great job, but I don't know if they're ready to really take that next step. A lot of the folks that I'm working with, they can be categorized in that. And sometimes we just have to have a little bit of courage to be able to take that leap and to push them and put them into this particular program or engagement with executive coaching because it's going to allow them to either accelerate to growth or accelerate to probably are going to realize that they're just not ready yet. And I have to tell you that I have worked with a lot of leaders over the time, and we are either growing them up or we're growing them out. And we're able to do that on a much quicker time frame than maybe what we could have done if we could have just let them stay in the job, stay in the role, and see how they're going to respond to it and give them 3 more months, 6 more months, 12 more months, whatever it may be. If we go ahead and have a small investment in them now, see how they perform and how they respond, we will know in a hurry whether or not this person needs to be promoted or whether or not they just need to stay where they are. Or the third option is we need to move them out of this organization because this is no longer a good fit. So the second thing that I wanted to share with you is a problem with leadership is we don't know whether this person is ready for the promotion or not. And so through executive coaching, through a proven framework that's been around for 4 decades, we can accelerate that for you guys and we can let you know and you will see the results almost immediately whether or not this person's going to rise up to the occasion and run the races that you need that person to do, or you're going to learn that they are fine just the way they are, or you may learn that it is time for them to continue to grow somewhere else. And by knowing that ahead of time, by knowing that with a small investment on the front end, it's going to save you a lot of heartache before you do the promotion. It's going to save you a lot of time and energy. I think we probably have been there before. We promote somebody before they're ready. And think about the costs that are happening when we promote somebody that's not quite ready yet. Think about the time and the energy it takes on us, on the HR professionals, on the folks that are around us. Even our home life is probably going to hear about the fact that so and so got promoted and they're just not cutting it like we thought they would do. So the second problem or opportunity with leadership is, how do we test the person before we promote them? And a solution that some of my clients have been using is the executive coaching platform, just in order to either accelerate them up or accelerate them out. All right. The second part of that, if we flip the script just a little bit, if we need to figure out are they ready before the promotion, the next side of that script is we have a newly promoted person. The newly promoted person could be somebody who was already on the team. They were peers with everyone. They clearly are running a great race. They're producing results. They're doing a great job. They just got promoted. Now, this person who just got promoted is having to lead their peers. The people that they used to be peers with, they're now having to lead. We could probably just cringing thinking about this opportunity or problem, as some people may want to call it. But it just gets to get a little uncomfortable when we used to be on the team as a peer, and then an opportunity comes up, and now we have to come out as a leader of our friends, a leader and holding them accountable of our peers that used to be our peers. And it really takes a big mind shift change in order to take them as a peer on the team and move them to a leader of the team. It happens every day. I have talked to a lot of HR professionals, a lot of CEOs recently that have said, I need to promote this person. I've promoted this person. And now they're leading what used to be their peers. There is a way to be able to accelerate through this in a much quicker manner and be able to support this person in this new role. And that's through the executive coaching. It is through a blend of having 20 years in corporate and a blend with a 4-decade proven framework to accelerate these results. And I've had CEOs that have come back to me and they define success of this person in a new role. I asked them, I said, what is success? What's a successful time frame for this executive to really just be at the top of their game? And they paused and they thought for a moment and they said, if we could get this person ready in 24 months, that would be great. Like just a good, steady 24 months of growth. And I have to tell you, we came back within 90 days, 90 days, 3 months. This person had measured results as seen by the people that were around them, not by what I thought, not by what they thought, but it was about what their peers, what their manager, what the people around them thought. And if we can accelerate growth to the point where now accelerating at 90 days and again at 180 days and just continue that growth, that is a strong return on investment. These people are being transformed in their leadership skills. They're being transformed in in their presence, in the way that they behave and hold themselves in these meetings. It is a huge shift that is taking place with these leaders, and it's exciting to be able to support them. And it comes with having to have courage and humility and discipline. And a lot of times, sometimes we need to figure out, okay, we've got them promoted in this new position. How do we support them so they can hit the ground running? So this particular second thing that I'm sharing is maybe we need to know if somebody's ready before the promotion. Maybe somebody's been promoted and we need to figure out how to support them in this new role so they can provide a better return on investment to the company, to themselves, to the team, and everyone overall. The third item that I want to share with you with a problem with leadership. A lot of the CEOs and the leaders that have met with me, we start out with listening to them, and they're having conversations and they just can't put words around what the problem is, what the opportunity is. And they just say there's something missing and I don't know what it is. And I can tell you through multiple conversations, if I had to narrow it down into a single phrase of what is missing, it is typically executive presence. As folks are growing through the organization, executive presence means different things at different levels. And so you may need a certain type of executive presence at a mid level. You may need a whole different type of executive presence as you're at the top of the organization. And being able to know how to apply executive presence at different parts of the organization, at different parts of your career, is extremely important and vital to the business and to your career. And when CEOs come to me, they just explain, this is a really good, hardworking, strong person. They're doing great work. I can't put my finger on it. And by the end of this engagement, they come back, the CEOs come back, and they let me know through a survey or through, just feedback. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I see the difference now. They walk in, they own the room, they walk the room for presentations, they can mic up and speak in front of hundreds of people after working with me. And it's so exciting to get to see the physical transformation. And it's just as exciting to be able to see the people around them recognizing them, that they're making these changes. And these changes that are taking place are mutually beneficial. It is beneficial for the leader. It's also beneficial for the people around them. It is a win win. If the leader gets better, the team is going to get better because there's going to be less stress, less pain, less micromanagement, whatever it may be, but the team is going to continue to get stronger. And just as the saying is, we're only as strong as our weakest link. How do we rise these incredibly talented people up to be able to do more, to be able to help, to be able to support? And a lot of times the solutions to this is investing in executive coaching to really elevate and accelerate what these leaders are able to do in the workplace. Every day we're asking people to do more with less. And when we do that, when we're asking them to do more and be able to do more with less, we're going to have to get real creative, and we're going to have to figure out how do we maximize the energy that they are expanding every day into the most important critical few things for them to be able to drive that finish over the line. This ties into something else that some of the directors and folks that are reaching out to me are sharing. And part of this, something that's missing, is the the head of the department, the head of whichever team it is that's reaching out that has this problem with leadership. They're at a point where they don't have any more time to solve for these problems. They don't have any more time for the phone to ring for them to be able to field any more calls that are taking place. And so when they've run out of time and they can't continue to grow their leaders, they are stagnating their own career, they're stagnating their own team that's around them. And if we can help these senior leaders be able to add time into their day and to be able to surround them with thought partners and strategic thinkers versus just folks that are responding, reacting, and not doing any kind of proactive planning. We know that, that's something that's missing. The something that's missing is your thinking time. And if you're leading a team and your phone is ringing 24/7, the text messages, the emails, everything's out of control, like it just feels like a heavy weight, we need to reevaluate what that thing is that's missing. And that thing that's missing could be that you need to create more time in your day. We need to scratch some things on the calendar so you can create the space that you need to be the leader. To do that, we need to grow your team. We need to accelerate the results, and we need to ease the pain and the problem with the leadership team issues that are going on. I know we can accelerate through it. I know that we can get them there. We have proven track records. 100% of my clients have come back and created 100% measured improvement after we've gone through these engagements. And at the end of this, they're coming back to their leaders, to their sponsors, to the folks who really had that bleeding problem in the beginning. And they're finding out that they have thought partners around them now, problem solvers, not problem risers. These people are solving problems before they're calling their managers, before they're calling their next level of leaders and complaining. They're not making those calls as often. They're really reducing that pull on you as that senior leader, or that pull on you as the CEO in an organization. And so when we can really reframe the way the leaders are growing within an organization and get them to provide thought answers, or just answers instead of problems, we're going to grow their leadership, which is going to help you grow yourself, grow your team, and grow your business. If any of this is hitting home, I would love for you to send me a message. And I want to just hear from other people. Do you see this as an opportunity today? Is this a problem with leadership today? Is any of this stuff hitting home? Feel free to throw in the chat or to be able to share with me. I would love just to keep learning and listening from you guys. What is hitting home and what's not? If you want to continue to learn about this, we have a podcast that I'm a host of. It's called Business Vitality. It is found on all the major outlets: Spotify, Amazon, etc., Apple. In Business Vitality, I interview executives and leaders, and we talk about best practices that are allowing businesses and their teams to continue to excel month after month, year after year, decade after decade to continue to create that growth. There's some really fundamental practical applications that are out there, and they've been working for years. So why reinvent the wheel when we probably just need to re-engage with what's out there? And on the Business Vitality podcast, we talk more about that. So I would love for you, if you need a link or you need a sample podcast episode, let me know. We have quite a few to choose from. We're heading into our third year of the Business Vitality podcast. I'd love for you to go out there and join us and continue to listen and let us know what hits home and what we could talk about next. But today we are talking about problems with leadership. The fourth topic that I want to share with you is that leaders are coming to me, or HR is coming to me, and they're realizing they have some really high potential folks in the organization. These are their top producers. They've been here about 10 to 15 years within the organization, and they're trying to figure out, how do we like re-energize this really high potential person? How do we continue to invest in them to let them know that we value them? Their goals are just, off the charts. They continue to exceed over and over again. How do we let them know that we still love them and we appreciate that they're here? When you're thinking about ROI, I mean, think about the value if you have a top producer who's been in your organization for 10, 12, 15 years. You're not having to retrain. You don't have to recruit. You don't have an onboarding process. You just have this amazing, fine-tuned individual that is creating results. How do you reinvest in someone that has already invested so much into your business? And a lot of times we provide an executive coaching engagement because the top and the best that are out there continue to strive to get a little bit better. That's what your top performers are doing. And no matter what they end up doing, they are curious enough to keep learning and continue to find that 1 or 2% to keep growing and getting a little bit better. So, how do you re energize some long term talent? You re energize them with an engagement, with executive coaching, and teaching them just a few more tools to add to their arsenal that continue to provide benefit to themselves, to their team, and to the folks around them. You know, Something else that we've run across with kind of growing existing teams is, can you take an outside sales or an outside facing amazing rock star and bring them into the leadership team inside the organization? Some people say it can't be done. I have to beg to differ. I think we can take the top performers, if they're ready, to come into the company as a key leader and continue to grow the business, not from a customer facing role, but from an inside leadership team member role. It is possible to do that. You can't just take somebody from the outside world and bring them in. We need to support them. I truly believe in executive coaching to be able to do that. But it's a mind shift of taking these folks and getting their mind shifted from that customer facing role to really understanding what the pain points are within the organization. If you can find somebody that can do this successfully, you have created an amazing asset for the business, because very few people can take that outside customer facing role, take that experience and bring it into the organization and teach the people within the organization what the customer pain points are firsthand. And when we can do that and we can streamline communication, we can really cut through a lot of opportunities that are sitting before us. So you may have a top performer, you may have somebody that's been out there 10, 15 years. It may be time to bring them inside the organization to grow the organization from the inside and not just from the outside. One other thing, as far as re-energizing the team that keeps bubbling up, is how do we build stronger teams internally? I have spent 20 plus years in corporate, and unfortunately, along the way, I have learned that there are silos that are built. It just happens over time. And I don't think we intentionally build silos within organizations, but what we do see are, they just happen. Relationships establish, people have been in roles for a while. You have different people with different teams, different personalities, whatever it may be, and silos begin to take place. And sometimes we need to build stronger teams internally. And I know that when I'm working with my CEOs and my executives, we are figuring out that folks that may be in legal and compliance need to befriend folks that are in marketing, and marketing needs to befriend legal and compliance. You don't see these two roles coming together in this beautiful picture very often. They both play uniquely powerful roles within the organization. Over time, these teams of people can become siloed. There can be, some strong opinions held in marketing, some strong opinions that are held in legal or compliance. They're both there to serve us as the leader, as the CEO of the organization. They're there to serve us, to take care of us, and to help us grow to the next level. And when we can bring these two together to build a stronger relationship and collaboration within the organization, and each understands the importance of what each other brings to the role, to the table, it allows the business to accelerate their growth much quicker, much smoother because of the communication between there. So when we're talking about, just looking at leadership or problems with leadership, within this fourth piece that I'm talking about, it is, how do we re-energize long-term top talent that's been there within the organization? They're helping us keep costs down because we don't have to, spend extra money on onboarding and recruitment. They've been there, they understand the culture. We can also look at, how do we take outside leaders, top sales performers, and bring them into the leadership team? I'm here to tell you it is possible to make that as a successful transition. And then the third thing that I'm seeing with existing talent that we have are how do we build stronger teams, collaboration within the organization? And it may be something as siloed as marketing is on one side of the table and compliance and legal is on the other. We're both here to have really important roles, and the sooner we can come together and just strengthen that relationship, even just 1% more than what we already have, there's going to be significant benefit to solving opportunities that sit before us. So I'm going to pause here. I just want to be able to share with you that, if you're interested in learning more about this, we have a podcast called Business Vitality. It is on Spotify and Amazon, Apple, all the major outlets. Feel free to go out there and take a look. This is our third year of doing the Business Vitality podcast. We are interviewing leaders and executives of practical applications that are working, that are keeping their businesses vital day in and day out, month over month, year over year, decade over decade. And it's a lot of fun to be able to hear from them what's working and be able to learn from their lessons. Sometimes it's more fun to learn from someone else's lessons than for us to go through it ourselves. All right, so we're talking about problems with leadership today. And I'm going to just reiterate the fact that problems with leadership are fun when they're not our problems. It is a lot more fun to hear other people talk about their team problems than it is for us having to deal with team problems. So it's pretty much like you're in a marriage, you're in a relationship, you have a partner, and something's going on. It is funny when it's somebody else's marriage and somebody else's, relationship. When it's us and it's in our backyard, it gets real awkward and it's no longer funny. So as we're talking about these leadership opportunities or problems with leadership today, I just have to laugh at some of this because, as we have been around long enough, we begin to see that, yeah, that is hilarious. But if the tables were turned and that was me, that's no longer funny. So we just kind of have to joke about it. All right, so this last piece of problems with leadership today that I want to share with you. A lot of folks are coming to us and they want to get 1% better. Like they are already highly successful teams, highly successful businesses, and they want to get better just 1%. I've got one group that I'm working with, they want to get better by 2%. And knowing them, they are going to get better by 2% because that's just the way their team operates. They are highly motivated. They are, just a great working team, but that didn't happen overnight. We've been working with that particular organization for a number of years, and we refine our team engagement, team coaching. Every year, we refine it to include just something a little bit different to just stretch them a little bit further. We have fundamentals that we lean back on every time, but we continue just to push them just a little bit more, a little bit more. And it's allowing them to create a much more stronger ROI on our time together, that when we come together and be able to work together on those team facilitation engagements. So This fifth thing is, do you have some high potentials? Do you have these folks within the organization and you need them to get that 1% better? We take a blended approach of 20 years in corporate with 4 decades of proven framework experience, and we blend it together. And by doing that, we're able to create 100% of my clients have been able to create measured improvement as seen by the people around them, as seen by their stakeholders. And, when we're just trying to get 1% better, it doesn't sound that hard, but there are daily decisions that these people have to make to be able to continue to show up to be just 1% better every day. What we are finding when these folks are showing up and they're improving by this 1%, we are accelerating the growth that they are experiencing. It could be that they just had a high turnover in a particular team. And if you had a high turnover, you may be able to accelerate through that awkwardness in the very beginning by having some of these powerful conversations that often come with executive coaching. It may be that you want to accelerate growth within an organization where you want to promote from within. Most organizations, they do want to promote from within, but like, how do we know if that person is ready or not? We can invest a small amount of time and a small amount of resources to invest in these individuals before we promote them to be able to see if we can promote from within the organization. And then finally, we may be able to build a new team blended with an existing team. And sometimes we have to bring these folks together. We have an existing team and we have a new team, and we need to bring them together. And sometimes it's just hard. And I know that we've done a number of different types of engagements where we're able to come together around the table and recognize the benefits of both the new set of eyes and the existing folks that have been here for a while and understand the history. I've spent 20 plus years in corporate, and I've been on that side of the desk where I'm that new person and I just have a new perspective and I ask different questions. I've also been on the other side of the desk where I remember the history and I have to be able to share why we're doing what it is that we're doing. And we need to be able to have that courage and humility to be able to bring that together. And if we want to accelerate growth within an organization, we can do this through using executive coaching to really blend this stuff together and really accelerate and embrace. We can embrace the history, we can embrace the new perspective, and together we can blend and we can accelerate the growth using executive coaching to get the individual, to get the team to where they need to be, to where it just continues to allow a lot of growth for the organization. Again, my name is Catherine Cantey. We have a podcast called Business Vitality. I would love for you to tune in and listen to some of the interviews that we have out there with business professionals, with executives, with leaders. They are sharing practical applications that are working in their world. I have found over time, if we can learn from other people that are out there trying things, we can accelerate our own growth and we can learn from mistakes. And if we can share other mistakes and pay it forward and save somebody some heartache down the road, I think that's what we're here to do. I love working with my clients. I am partnering with teams and leaders. We are achieving measurable leadership change. We have a 100% success rate with the clients that we have been working with for the past few years. They are coming back to us and they are increasing the work that they're doing because they know that if we can just put in just a little bit of change and just hold people accountable through this change, we are going to elevate leaders within their organization. It's going to create just a lot of opportunity, not just for the leader, but for the other folks that are on the team to be able to grow them as well. And I'm going to take a minute to pause. I see Donnie. Donnie, it's good to see you. And yeah, I hope that you guys are able to watch the beginning of this. At the very beginning, I'll be honest with you, I was trying a new streaming, and so it just took me a few minutes to get started. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Donnie does a great job with United Way, so we appreciate the work you're doing. And yeah, Lindsay, thank you for posting my website. My website's catherinecantey.com. You can check out all kinds of resources on our resource page at catherinecantey.com/resources. And then also, Lindsay, thank you for posting our podcast out there as well. But we are partnering with teams and leaders to achieve measurable leadership change. We do this through using practical applications, and we are creating accelerated results. I think one of my favorite examples from somebody within a huge organization, he needed success. Success for him was to elevate these new executives, new to the role executives within 24 months. We were able to do it in 90 days. And then we again measured again in 180 days. So we were able to create success in a very accelerated time frame. What we've also learned over the time is we can help you identify whether this person is ready for the promotion, or maybe they're just ready for something else, not with you anymore. Because if they don't show up and do this courageous work, it's not probably going to be a good fit for you and for your business for the long term. So if you are interested in learning more about this work and more about these problems that we're solving within leadership, I would love to hear from you. Send me a message. And if you like this new streaming platform, let me know. I think we're going to keep trying this and keep refining this and keep growing myself as well. So thank you so much for being here. I'm Catherine Cantey. I'm an executive coach and a podcast host of Business Vitality. You can find me at catherinecantey.com. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.